Well, let's look at a study done by Lancaster and Stillman. They researched a number of organizations and found that there were these 9 challenges or issues that were common that they studied. Things like communication style and decision making, leadership style, job changing. And they looked at this across the generations that existed in the organization. And they found that baby boomers dealt with these issues in a particular way. For example, the communication style was very guarded, or decision making was keep the team informed. Leadership style was get out of the way. And job changing was, this sets me back, and so lifetime employment, etc. was the norm. When you look at Gen Y, they found that things like communication style is very collaborative, or training with the boomers is too much on our leave, whereas Gen Y wants it continuous and it's expected. Their problem solving is collaborative, their decision making is team decides it. Feedback is on demand rather than a baby boomer asking for it once a year. Job changing, well, that's a part of my daily routine, says the Gen Y. Now, if an organization was dealing with the complexity of these different generations on one hand, and complexity where each person within a generation is of a particular personality, has different desires, different aspirations, that's a fairly complex situation to deal with. And traditionally, organizations have dealt with programs that focus on the doing, so that you keep away from the complexity of what individuals' desires might be. And this really doesn't change anything. Our program, on the other hand, brings about a recognition of the individual, of the whole human being and what makes them tick. I'm reminded about a British telecom advert that showed bringing in bean bags into an office was intended to make people feel at home.
The winter's looking great. What about the spring targets, man? Spring figures?
To help your staff feel more at home, you could try beanbags. Or you could enable them to actually work from home.
What do you think? Sorry.
And so focusing on behavior is much like putting beanbags in an office and hoping people will feel at home. And fundamentally, nothing changes. So the challenge is to find what lies below the surface that leads to the behavior. For the same behavior, there are 2 ways of being. People can be resistant or they can be responsive. I am resistant when I see people as objects there to serve my needs, to be used or ignored as best serves my desire or aspiration at that point in time. I'm responsive when I see people as people and recognize that they too have needs, dreams and desires, and more importantly, that these are as real as my own. The question then is, does everyone in your organization deal with each other in a responsive manner? Building a responsive culture is embedded in an organization progressively in 8-week cycles. The best part is that the whole program pays for itself many, many times over because resistance costs money. It costs money in terms of all the unnecessary corporate games that get played in one-upmanship, non-cooperation, blame, excuses and self-justification. And once you get that out of the system, you directly impact your bottom line and create an innovative, cooperative and a meaningful environment.